Alright, so I'm going to quickly cover how to install custom firmware on your Switch. It's actually not too complicated. I have all the files downloaded already, but you can get these from this wonderful website here. Basically, it provides you all the information that's needed. You basically just open these up in a new tab, and you always want to download the latest version. You never want to install an older version unless they state so otherwise on the custom firmware forums. So for example, for Hadake, or however you pronounce it, sue me if I said that wrong, you'd basically just install this top one right here, which again I already have installed or download already. So now what we'll do is go through these steps like an actual visual to get your SD card to look like this. Now I'm going to do this on an empty folder because I already have a switch set up already with custom firmware, so I don't need to do this. But for those that are learning how to do this, this is basically what you'll end up doing. So the first things first is you are going to need a device, because it doesn't say this up here, but you are going to need a micro SD card reader, or an SD card reader with a micro SD card adapter in order to do this, because you don't have FTP set up on your Switch already. You can't do this through the net, and to be able to read the SD card, you're going to need a reader for it. So just keep that in mind. That's one thing that this does not tell you up here. That is something that you will need to have. You can get a USB stick with a micro SD card reader on it. You can get a standalone micro SD card reader. They're very cheap. Like, I think I got mine for like $10 off of Amazon. It doesn't need to be anything super fancy. It just needs to be able to read your SD card in order to do this. So let's pretend I already did that. I plugged in my SD card. Now we're going to get this all set up. So these are the files that I needed to download. And this is, again, we're pretending this is my SD card that I'm going to get set up. So the first thing that you want to do, these zip files, you're going to want to right click on them, go to properties, and you want to unblock them. Very important. So go ahead, hit apply, hit OK, go to the next one, do the same thing. Let's just go ahead, get that taken care of. And there will be one more step that I do on my switches every time when I do this. I've learned that it's actually saved me headaches, but we'll get to that later on in the video. So now, what we're going to do next, again, we're going to go through these steps. So step one is to copy the contents of the atmosphere zip file into the root of your SD card. So for that, we are going to go to this, and I'm going to just drag this over here, and we're just going to say extract here. And so that will then put the atmosphere and the switch and this homebrew menu in there. And then I'm just going to just go ahead and delete this from the folder. It's not needed anymore. That is done. Step one is done. Pretty simple, right? Next we're going to do is we're going to copy the bootloader folder from the hadake.zip file to the root of your SD card. Again, what we'll do is, easier to just do this, we are going to grab this wonderful file, drag that on over here. We will then go ahead and extract here, and that will give you the bootloader. And then it also gives you this file right here. There is one other thing that I forgot to say that you need to have, and that is this wonderful program called Tegra. You need this to inject this file into your switch. It's necessary. So it's a free download, super easy. The other thing that you'll need is a USB Type-C to USB cable. If you have a Nintendo Switch Pro controller, it already comes with one of those. So super cheap to get, not expensive. Amazon has them for sale. I think I bought a 5-pack for like $20 or something like that back in the day. So I have plenty of them, but again, not hard to find. So, but we'll get to this part later. So now what we'll end up doing is, again, we'll remove the zip file. Go back to our steps here. So now we're on step 4. We're going to copy the bootloader folder from the boot logos onto your SD card. Super simple. Again, we're going to take the zip file, move that over, extract that here, and what it'll do is all the files that belong here, as you probably saw, is it then updated this folder up here. So there's really not much else you need to do there. We'll go ahead and delete that. And next step is to copy this .ini into the bootloader folder. Now I do this in 2 ways, and I haven't had this not work before, but basically this file right here is, you want to copy this file, go to the bootloader, and I put it in this ini folder at the top as well, and then I go back and I also just put it in the folder. So it looks like this. Super easy, nothing too difficult. It gives you all the fun mumbo jumbo stuff there, all that good stuff. But now moving on, we are going to go to step 6. Now you don't have to do this. For those that don't know, lockpick is used to do a lot of shady stuff. Again, this is not necessary to get custom firmware to boot up onto your Switch. But if you are one of those shady individuals, that is all up to you on getting that all set up. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to skip that. So we'll move on to the App Store. Again, for all the shady folks that like to do all the shady stuff, that is up to you if you want to do that. So we're going to skip that one, but we will go to step 8 here, which is to copy all of this wonderful stuff into the Switch folder, which is super easy. All you do is select these files, copy them, go to your Switch. Oh, I didn't do that. There we go. Go to the Switch folder, paste that in there. Done. Easy. That's all you do. So there you have your SD card all set up, ready to go. Now the next fun part is to do the injection on the Switch. Now you're going to also need a little thing called the RCM jig. It's a little red plastic doodad. I'll try to put that into the video at this point so I can like kind of reference what it looks like. But you'll need one of the RCM jigs that are $5 off of Amazon. You'll basically put that into the right side joystick, like where your right Joy-Con goes. You'll slide it into the rails to the very bottom, and then next you're going to hold down the volume up button. And let me go ahead and pull up TIG right here real quick. So I already selected that file, which is right here. I just leave it where it's at. I have this file selected already. Alright, so now your Switch has booted into the custom firmware. So this is what it will look like when you are in the Hotake, or however you pronounce it, is boot menu. So you have launch, more configs, payloads, and EMU MMC. So just ignore that last one. Don't do that. First, we're going to go to Tools, So go ahead and you're going to go to Tools, and then you're going to go to these ARC bit, RCM, touch, blah, blah, blah. So click that. Next, you're going to go to Fix, Archive bit, and then it's going to do its thing. Done, no changes were needed. Good, that's what we want to see. Close it, go back to Home. Next, you're going to go to Launch, and it's going to give you two options: Atmosphere, Atmosphere FSSO sys, and then Stock sys. If you go to Stock, it's just your switch like it is normally, nothing different. You want to click on the Atmosphere, and then it will then boot like this. Super easy. I need to clean my switch. It's amazing how often you touch it. But yeah, then it's going to just boot into your switch like normal. The way to confirm that it's actually done, if you go to your pictures area, it will look like this, and you are complete. That's it. That's how you complete the modification of the switch to boot custom firmware. Hooray, super easy.